JJ, with Keontae George was so effective in the first half. His speed, he's not the first kind of fast guard like that that's given you guys some trouble this year. What was the adjustment with him, do you think, specifically in the second half? Where did the containment get better? And as you guys kind of chart forwards with this version of your roster, how important is it that you guys are maybe you might not have a 48-minute defensive effort against like those kinds of players, but that it's good enough when it needs to be?
Well, first of all, George gives a lot of people problems. I mean, the guy's averaging around 25 points a game or a little under 25 points a game. So he's proven to be a dynamic offensive player. And in terms of adjustments, it was more about doing our things better. I think one thing that happened in the second half was Maxey being on the floor, Nurkic being off the floor allowed us to go to 15, allowed us to switch 1 through 5, and just kind of keeping the ball in front of us. We did a better job with our shifts in the second half. I think all that contributed to it. It wasn't necessarily, hey, we're going to do X, Y, or Z versus him.
You mentioned, not remembering the best right now, but the expected score, they overshot, I think, in the first quarter. I think you said maybe by 50.
No, it was the first half. Expected score was we were up 11. They made 5 more threes but that's every game now. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Every team makes shots against us. It's just a fact of life.
How does that, I guess, inform how you coach the team at halftime? And if you are finding that to be a repeated pattern, I guess what do you take away from that?
Very simple. I mean, if we have to make an adjustment, we'll make an adjustment. If you're not doing the things we're asking you to do, then that's on you. It's very simple. We'll make an adjustment, and we have made adjustments throughout the year at halftime. Other times we just show it. This is what we did for the last 2 days. This is what we did this morning at the hotel. This is what we watched on film multiple times. This is not what we did in the game. It's just do it better.
AJ, in the third quarter, you called a timeout, and you were gesturing. What was your body was moving from where we were sitting. Arms were moving quite a bit. After, I think, since the ball hit the 3, and then you called a timeout, you didn't look very pleased with.
Oh, that wasn't late. Yeah, I know which 3 you're talking about. Yeah,
but at again, that was another.
That was another example of us.
What was your message to them at that point?
Do what you're supposed to do. Like that wasn't our defense, and Sensabaugh is a laser. He's on the laser board. Do what you're supposed to do.
And do you think that's, spark you guys a little bit more? Because you guys had a good defensive push from that point on, I thought.
The players got to go out and do it. So it's not, I don't know if it sparked them or not. And I just know that after that, they were better.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
JJ, some of the threes started to fall in the fourth, but did you see the defense pick up at all in that second half, and especially in the fourth? Relative to the first half?
First of all, I want to apologize to you because pregame, saw the suit, saw the tie combo. I didn't put it together with the shoes until we got out on the court and you were doing your pregame hit. So just really appreciate it. That's
Thanks,
all.
JJ.
You're welcome.
It's very nice.
Yeah, our defense in the first half was not good. Another game where, it's becoming a theme with our team. They shoot 15 points over expected. They made 5 more threes than expected. I mean, I can count in my brain the ones that were ridiculous shot making. Challenged them at halftime. I thought our defense was much better in the second half. It wasn't perfect. It was much better. The guys that came off the bench, Vando, Maxey, Jake in the second half really changed the game for us with their multiple efforts. And again, another game, another point of emphasis, just, winning the possession battle. You think about like special teams in football and quality control and all that stuff. And it's like, those are the guys that are going to make a difference with that, just getting you extra possessions. Maxey had an amazing chase down block, got the rebound, drew a foul. Bando on the offensive glass. Jake had a big putback in the second half. So again, those guys were excellent.
It sounds almost ridiculous. You look at Luka's stat line, and you could argue he didn't, play his best game for part of the game, but the assist to the low turnovers and some of the shot making late, the free throw line. What did you just see from him overall, and what have you seen from him the last couple of weeks?
Yes, just like stretches of playing excellent and being engaged and executing our stuff defensively, and then stretches where he's not as engaged and isn't executing our stuff defensively. But I would say that's for everybody. I think the biggest thing, he played certainly well enough to lead us to a win, but him and LeBron with 24 assists and 3 turnovers, and we didn't necessarily run. I don't know the volume off. I haven't looked at the stats from tonight, but we didn't necessarily run a ton of pick and roll. It was a lot of off-ball stuff. I don't know if you guys watch baseball, but the third baseman giving all the hand signals. That's something we've been working on so that we don't run into the situation we ran into in Philly where I'm trying to call a play. Phoenix, I'm trying to call a play. Guys don't know what we're doing, so we're using hand signals now like a third base coach in baseball. And I thought our ability to pick that up and execute, get the ball to the right guys, Luka being live on some stuff where he was off ball and then making plays once he got the ball was awesome.
Just following up on the signals, they couldn't hear you in Phoenix and Philly, you're trying to say? And so you had to do a visual cue versus a verbal?
Philly, for sure. I don't think they heard me. Phoenix, I think they were tired. And we talked about having the nonverbals and then being able to echo it on the court so everybody knows what we're doing.
You guys were missing like 40-plus points from your starting lineup tonight with no Reeves and no Ayton. And I understand there's been a lot of talk about the defense, and rightfully so, but you put up 143 despite missing those pieces. Just how would you assess your offense at this stage of the season?
Still a lot of work to do. I think part of the struggle, and I use that word very lightly because it's not like a struggle where I'm like sitting there like beating my head against a wall, but part of the struggle as a coach is getting guys to buy into maybe doing something that they're not comfortable with, or that it's easy to I just want to run pick and roll. It's easy. That isn't always the right thing to do versus a defense. And I felt like tonight, especially like they, Luka, LeBron, they really just bought into the off ball stuff, and we milked a couple plays over and over again. They ended up getting the ball and then either having open shots or driving. So I thought they did a good job of that, and that's going to be a continuous thing throughout the year. Obviously when you miss Austin, he is our best off-ball player. So, getting those guys to buy in has been good.